Hello everyone, in this video I'm gonna show you guys how I did the Freedom and Quartet achievements in the new 4 Horsemen dungeon, but I failed the Impertinence. But actually, with this strategy you can also do that. I just decided to do the Impertinence achievement later with a group of 8 because I believe that will be easier since all of your characters are buffed, and with more characters you just add more regular monsters, which I think will make the overall fight easier. But let's just jump right into the strategy that I used. First of all, I want to talk about the sets. For my rogue, I had a full intelligence set, as you can see here. Nothing crazy. If you want, you can use the legendary Jahash cloak for more spell damage, 10% more. But I just thought that was not needed. But it's pretty standard. And so there are 2 pandas in this setup, and I'm gonna call them Panda 1 and Panda 2 in terms of their play order. So the Panda 1 plays first, and in this strategy, the FECA and the Panda 1 has the same set, as you can see here, a full tank set with a lot of lock and resistances and health. And you don't need to use Phalanster shields. You can use Eneris shield just as well. I just had a couple extra lying around, so I just used them. And for the Panda 2, it's a pretty similar set to the first one. The main difference being you have a DOKOKO for the heals, which will be important, which will you'll understand the importance later. And also I want to point out, in the first 2 sets, I actually decided to put Lady Jessica belt at the end, which steals 50 dodge around you at the end of your turn. This helped me lock them better, but you don't need that. But I just use them anyways. I want to talk about my spell choices here. First of all, for the FECA, you can use Barricade, but I used Fortification because I thought FECA would always go low first. But either one is fine. Always opt in for the spells where you can move things around, like Gust or the pushing spells in general, or Shiver to pull something in. Obviously Protective Glyph and Ataraxia for the shields. Gravitational Glyph, very important to avoid like unnecessary movement. Perception Glyph gives the bonus range. And that's about it. For the rogue, I have the classic intelligence spells. I use the shot pellets and extraction for the lifesteal. I have the latent explode bomb, and I just have the regular water bomb so that if I want to, I can put the bomb, switch places with imposture, and then kill it with fuse, get my AP back, which gives more mobility, especially if you're doing impertinence. And other than that, you use strategy to fix the bomb lines and go back after you change places with a bomb using imposture. You use musket for the bonus combo. Similarly, you use the last breath for the bonus combo. I also use the walking bomb to create bombs for my bomb line, but also you can use it to distract monsters and make them do damage to it. And then for the pandas, they are almost the same, the only difference being the VULN and Prohibition spell. I use the Prohibition spell on the first panda, which is useful for Servitude, for example. And I use the Vulnerability spell on the second panda. No need for explanation, you do more damage with VULN. And other than that, I just have a bunch of movement spells and healing spells like Brandy and Consolidation, which healing helps for the corruption poisons. And yeah, that's it. Before I move on to the rest of the strategy, I just want to say that I honestly believe you shouldn't do this achievement because it is very messy right now, especially considering how buggy the client is. It's like borderline unbearable, but let me tell you why. So first of all, the client bugs, which shouldn't be there, and you have probably experienced these yourselves. Sometimes when your turn begins, even you have like 10 movement points, you won't be able to move. And on top of that, even if those bugs were solved, there is a big amount of randomness in this dungeon. So 2 main things. First of all, the Misery. The Misery boss has a spell where she applies minus 100 AP and MP. But sometimes she will teleport you randomly on somewhere on the map. And I will show it to you here. You can see sometimes she doesn't move you at all. Sometimes she moves you a bit. Sometimes she will throw you all the way over to another point on the map, which makes it very inconsistent when it comes to building a strategy where you're trying to improve every round. And secondly, even worse, is the corruption's poisons. Because currently, I checked these from the French guides, but there is, I think, 9 or 8 different poisons that your characters can get. And each of these poisons work differently. Some of them will make your character get a stack when you cast Boozer, some of them won't. Some of them will go away when you heal, some of them won't. Some of them will make your characters unable to heal, which will make it harder to remove the poison. Some of them will make your FECA get 6000 damage when you try to heal your characters, because why not? I honestly, still, after over 100 tries and doing all the corruption achievements, I don't understand how these poisons work, but I'm just gonna straight up tell you, it's gonna make you have a lot more tries than you need to because of these reasons. So keep in mind, attempting this dungeon, especially if you're doing the achievements, will take a lot of tries, 100 plus. With that out of the way, let's start talking about the strategy. So the order is quite standard in all of the other guides and videos that you might have seen. You killed Corruption first, then Servitude, then Misery, and War lastly. You have to kill War last because he doesn't open up before that. He is invulnerable. You use Misery's carry-ons to use for impertinence, so it's good to keep her last. You kill Corruption first because the poisons suck, and so that's it. Other than that, more things to keep in mind. Throughout the fight, I would always focus on killing the armor screens that the Servitude spawns. So if your panda is free, if you can move along, if the armor screen is closed, just pick it up and throw it on the bomb line and get rid of it, because it might become very annoying and do a lot of unnecessary damage that you don't need to take. Other than that, while the armor screens are up, always check for the teleportation debuff that they put up to 2 characters every turn. You might need to put gravity state or stabilization on your characters, because if you get teleported out of a position where you're next to a monster, that will fail the impertinence achievement. And for example, a character like Rogue doesn't have a spell where they can apply gravity state, so you might need to apply the gravity state from your panda to your Rogue, etc. And the general gameplay for each character is, with the FECA, you're gonna jump next to War and tank it, shield yourself, still dodge from it, and don't let it move, and keep it behind, because you cannot throw War. So if he reaches the front lines, the back lines, there's a problem. With the second panda, or honestly with both pandas, you will try to throw Misery away at all times, and keep her away regardless, because she will steal power from your characters, and this power debuff stacks. So when Misery has 2000 power, she starts hitting. And with the first panda, I try to lock the Servitude as much as I can, because if I lock it, the armor screen will be spawned near me, which makes it easier to kill the armor screen. And also another thing to consider is always try to keep the corruption poisons low, because with more poison stacks, you're gonna have more erosion, you're gonna have less heals, you're gonna take more damage, which is overall very problematic. So always try to heal your characters. But I mean, obviously, if you're unlucky and you have the poison where your character will take 6000 damage when you try to hit your allies with the Thanos staff, I mean, I don't know, that just happens, you'll need to restart. And so, more specifically, for killing each boss. So Corruption. At the end of turn 3, the Panda 2 needs to end next to the Corruption, so that when the turn 4 starts, the Dokoko will heal and will unlock the boss. Also, since you're next to the Corruption anyways, you should VULN the boss so that it takes more damage. At the start of turn 4, the Panda 1 will throw the Corruption and apply stabilization so that the boss doesn't move out of the bomb line when the Misery pulls everyone in. And then on the Rogue's turn, you will finish it by switching places with your bomb. So turn 4, you should always aim to kill Corruption by turn 4. Servitude, you should aim to kill it by turn 5 or latest turn 6. So after the Corruption dies, right after, or maybe if you need another turn, which is okay, in the next turn. But before you kill it, you should put the ranged shield of the FECA on your Rogue. If you can't reach it, you can either jump, use the Teleglyph spell to reach your Rogue, or use the alternative intelligence glyph, which gives 5 range to everyone inside it, and then apply the ranged shield. Another thing to keep in mind, you cannot do more damage than you have left in Servitude's first phase. So for example, if Servitude is 1000 health away from his second phase and you pull him into the bomb line, you won't do 9000 damage, you will do 1000. So the general rule of thumb is when the Servitude is initially thrown into the bomb line, his health should be very close to the second phase. So when your rogue's turn begins, first deal damage to him with your bow and spells, make him go to second phase, and then move the bombs to apply the bomb line damage. And lastly, before Servitude's turn starts, where he will get the final blow, you should apply Unhealable with the first panda, and you will have applied Ebony poison with your spells with your rogue beforehand, so on Servitude's turn, he should die. If he doesn't, it's absolutely fine. You can just throw him again on the next turn and finish him off. You might need to apply shields with a FECA or like pull your rogue up with a panda to avoid getting your rogue killed. And also you might opt in to apply stabilization to the Servitude to avoid him from moving out of the bomb line because of the misery pool. But if he does, it's okay. You can just magnet him in with your rogue. And the third boss that we're gonna kill is Misery. So he has high fire resistance, so I couldn't one-shot her. So what I did was I would throw her in with the first panda and also throw the second panda next to her. So before she plays, the second panda will pick her up and bring her back away so that she wouldn't kill the bombs. And obviously every time she gets damaged, she pulls everyone in, which causes the bomb line to be disturbed. So you might use the rogue's turn to fix the bombs back up. But basically you'll do that however much you need it to. But when the second phase begins and you pass your turn, with FECA you apply Truce, because she is invulnerable for a turn now and she will kill the bombs or do a lot of damage if you let her do damage. So you apply Truce, you know, fix the situation again, get her away from the bombs, you fix the bombs with the rogue, and then you will throw her to the bomb line again after the FECA's turn passes, so the truce is over. So with the second panda, you will throw her into the bomb line, which will do damage, and then in her turn, she should die with the second damage from the bomb line. But again, if you don't have enough damage, which might happen because bombs die, you should like always try to pull her away from rogue and the bombs because she might hurt them pretty badly. But since she stacks power every turn and starts dealing hard towards the end, I really advise her to kill her as fast as possible. And lastly, after Misery dies, it's only War left. You can probably do it if like one of your pandas die, but you should aim to have all of your team up. So what you do is pretty standard. Both pandas pick up a FECA and the rogue. The FECA applies the shields and the rogue does the damage. Whenever you change phases with the war and the weapon is spawned, with the pandas, you should try to throw those weapons away as far as possible out of sight of the war so that he won't change places with them. If he does, and you take a lot of damage, your characters might die, and you should just try to stay alive and kill the war as fast as possible.